Welcome to the weekly Sadhakaran program organized by Quantum Meditation Society London. Today, we are talking about something that is considered a hallmark of being an adult. I saw this meme the other day, and in fact, I've seen it several times, which says being an adult is continuously saying, I am tired. So, what do the adults in your life do? They just say, oh, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired all the time. So, why are so many of us tired all the time? Are the reasons what we think it is? And how can we not be so tired all the time? Because it's really sad if you really think that being an adult is just about being tired all the time. So today we want to take a deeper look at what makes us feel like life is a burden. Is it just too much work or is it something else? When we think of being tired, the first thing we think of is we just have too much to do. We feel like in certain societies, especially in certain societies, in a certain kind of lifestyle, we continuously have something to do. We're doing one thing after another, and this is what is causing us to be tired all the time. But I can say from my own experience in life, the person who I've seen work the hardest in life, my mentor, my guru, who is now 80 plus, is never tired. I have known him for more than 25, what is 98? So yeah, more than 25 years now, about 27 years. But I have never seen him being tired. He works pretty much around the clock, and my colleagues who get to spend more time with him than I did said, like, sometimes at late at night when they're still working, they would maybe yawn or something, but there was nothing in his body language that suggested that he wanted a break. He was as fresh as he was in the beginning of the day, and at the age of 80 he can walk longer, faster than any of us. So what is it that actually makes us tired? Is it really just too much work, or is it something else? If you look deeply, you will find out that underneath what you are doing are a set of other things that actually determine our reaction, our bodily reaction to what we're doing or not doing. These are again a few now scientifically supported reasons of feeling tired or overwhelmed or feeling like you're burdened all the time. Number one, for example, you know that you can get tired from overwork. Not all of us are we're that level of evolution, so yes, we do need a balance. But do you know that you can also get tired and kind of experience depression like symptoms from not being stimulated enough, of not having a purpose? Have you thought about that? So the scientists have shown that just like you can get tired from overwork, you can get tired from underwork. You can feel tired, you can feel uninspired, you can feel start feeling like everything is a burden, have that feeling of like, oh, I'm just tired all the time from not having enough to inspire you. Have you thought of that? Do you take a moment and think like, how much room have I created in my life for inspiration? The work I am doing today, do I feel like I just have to do work to provide for my family, to make sure that there is a roof over my head? Do you all the expenses are covered, or do you actually think like, I have this one life and I am going to do some, and I'm excited by it, and I want to do something that inspires me? Every human being has something or other that inspires them, but we lose touch with it. We think we are growing up, but that is actually growing down. That is like, um, if you if you bury the part of you that feels inspired, and if you think, oh, this is not practical, I can't do this, you will bury your enthusiasm. And then you feel like, oh, I have to be practical, I have to do this, that, and that doesn't inspire me. And then sooner you will see that, oh, you can't even do the things that you think you should do are practical. I hope this makes sense. Yeah. I was listening to an interview by Steve Bartlett. Some of you probably know him. He hosts this extremely successful podcast called Diary of a CEO. He has millions of subscribers. So, I had seen him interview other people a lot, but I didn't know that much about his life story. I just knew that he was kind of into business from a young age, and then he dropped out of school. So that other day I was listening to him being interviewed by Ali Abdul, who is another very successful YouTuber from the UK. And he was saying that in his school, Steve Burlett was saying that he got expelled multiple times from school because he just could not keep himself awake in the classes that he wasn't interested in. Like he would just fall asleep or something. But business really interested him, and then for that young age, he was so active during the business class that his teachers kind of had to keep him quiet because there was no other space, not much space for the other students to say or do anything, because he was dominating everything. But he was also making deals on behalf of his school of getting vending machines at a low price or something of that effect. So what he said was that my superpower is that I can quit without any guilt, and I can, things I don't like, I really just don't like. So in many people in his case would be trying to just do better at the things he was not doing well at, the subjects he was not doing well at, the subjects in which he was falling asleep, leading to his expulsion at some point. And you don't have to get expelled or anything, but there is something interesting in his life story. And what he said was like, I can just quit those things that I don't like, that don't feel good in my body, that doesn't feel good to me, and I can just then go and focus on the things that I actually like, I actually enjoy. And he's now multi-million, like owner of several multi-million businesses, right? And he's just in his 20s, and he has brothers who are better at him than in studies, but nobody really knows. If people know about them, they know about them through him, right? So he did not fall into the trap of trying to just make something that he didn't like work. He went full in the things that he actually did like. And even businesses, it's not like the first business he started was super successful, but he was able to give that up and then move on until he um, he was super successful, until he could find something that he actually really enjoyed. And the so the key message for this is, if everybody has something or other that they really do like, they really do enjoy. And it's like that is like a bliss line through your body. When you experience that, it gives you a kind of bliss. And that is a sign from the universe that, oh, you are now doing the thing that you were meant to do. And we should respect that. Sometimes we feel like, oh, now I'm mature, I'm grown up, but when we try to do that, we become sort of depressed ourselves, and then that the effect of that actually falls on how our income, how we are as parents, and so on and so forth. Now, just a little bit of a caveat. It's this is not the same as giving up or quitting, right? It's like, it's about asking yourself that this thing I am doing, is it worth it to me? If it's worth it, the thing I am pursuing, is it worth it for me? If it's worth it for you, it is worth any difficulty. It is worth going through all the difficulties for. But oftentimes we just pick goals that don't really mean much to us personally, and which are not really worth it to us. And then it's very natural then that we can't, that work tires us out. So the main message is that work doesn't necessarily tire us out. It is how we are experiencing that particular work. And it is always better and even more practical in life to go for what you actually deep inside you feel good doing in the long run, because that's what brings more rewards, even practical rewards in the long run. So that's one point, is that you may be feeling tired because you are lacking inspiration in your life. So please make some space for inspiration in your life. Number two, another reason we feel tired, we sort of drive ourselves to being tired, is because we we are not good at creating balance. And there is, in some societies, there is a tendency to make everything difficult. So uh, we say health, right? You want healing. So for healing, yes, you need to have nourishing food, you need exercise, you need rest, you need all of these things, right? But if you are grown up thinking that everything has to be difficult, you wouldn't feel like you're doing enough unless you do some super difficult exercise or something, you know? And I'm saying this because scientists have found that oftentimes this tiredness can come from too much exercise. A lot of people, and we also get into these because we're in an era where everything is a competition, right? So the product developers have found out that the human brain likes goals and breaking goals and reaching new goals and so on and so forth, right? So they're always like thinking, oh, you have met 200% of your goal, or you today you are close to your goal, today I'm increasing your goal, just do a little bit of this. So people get addicted to things like that, to walking a certain number of steps, and that's the easiest, or doing something in the gym. And whereas there are good things from that, but a lot of us are overdoing these things. We're doing this to a point where it's not really helping us anymore. The balance is broken, and that is what is getting our body to break down. I'm just saying the more unusual things today. The common things will just reiterate a little bit in the end. Um, Another thing that makes you too tired, that I've often seen happen to teenagers, is too much sleep. Too much sleep. So when people are, when a child is young, it's like it's always the parents who are trying to get them to sleep. Once you're a teenager, your sleep is all over the place, right? So if you have a device, you're probably spending way too much time with device and then being sleep deprived. But I've also seen, because in the teenage years there's a little bit of an extra need for sleep that comes, but but also there is also emotional ups and downs that are going on, and I have seen a lot of people, especially teenagers, just just sleep as a mechanism, use sleep as a mechanism to cope, use sleep as a coping mechanism, with all the things that feel too much to them, all the emotional ups and downs, the changes in the body, the extra sensitivity to what's happening in your school, amongst your friends, and so on and so forth. Please know that everything in life is about balance. Just like you can feel not only feel tired but experience a host of mental emotional difficulties because of lack of sleep, you can also feel tired because of too much sleep, because our body runs on a rhythm, right, called the circadian rhythm, which is dependent on our exposure to sunlight, which basically runs based on our exposure to light versus darkness. When you're sleeping at odd times, you are oversleeping, your circadian rhythm gets messed up, and then you will feel like you are not being able to generate that feeling of like, I want to get up and go. You will feel that, oh, that's not happening, like when you wake up in the morning, you still want to sleep. You The times that you're supposed to be active, you still feel like you don't have enough energy, you're tired. But that is happening because maybe at some point you broke your sleep routine, not just by sleeping less, but maybe you even slept too much. So don't exercise too much, don't sleep too much either. Keep both of them, neither of them. Don't do too little or too much. And I think, like, if somebody has done it, you will know that, oh, I've just been spending too much time in the bed, or there is no routine. And if there's no routine, your body will get confused about when to give you energy versus when to make you wind down. So you really need to give your body that routine. And then in the teenage years, of course, a lot of in addition to this oversleeping, we also sort of experiment with our bodies a lot. Sometimes we have maybe a project to complete or something, and we put all-nighters and those type of things, and because our body can take it, because its body is still young enough to be able to tolerate that. But you will see a lot of emotional up and down that is happening because of that. So those are three things I mentioned. So the number four that I think, especially in the West, people are so tired is because they're not being able to utilize the power of social connections, the invigorating power of social connections. Like if um, even if you say, like, you've been working really hard, and you've been up trying to finish a project for your work or something like that, if you're somebody who has a good circle, somebody to talk to, like, you've finished even when you're writing your paper, maybe you took breaks and you talk to somebody, or you had somebody to go and talk to after you finished that work project. And then but at home there is somebody you chatted with, or you have cousins, or you have friends, or your mom, or you have that big circle that many of us have grown up with, that we absolutely take for granted, or we took for granted in the cultures we grew up with. You will find that it creates a shift in your mood. You'll find that gives you a lot of energy. That is an energy generator. Exchanges with other people, but more and more and more, because people have become more and more and more and more sort of isolated, and the majority of our interactions are through social media and so on forth, so forth, which cannot generate that energy. uh, because of that, a lot of people are tired all the time. If the same thing, I challenge you, like, okay, you're cooking on your own versus you're cooking and your cousin and your friend are also cooking nearby. Just think, as somebody who are free with, you can joke with, you laugh together, and see, like, you will feel like you don't even know where the time went by. You won't you don't It wouldn't feel like work to you. So this power of human interaction is something that we're not using in this day and age, even though we have so much money. It's very interesting because I once saw Oprah interview Trevor Noah, and he used to be the host of the Daily Show, not anymore. He's a very well-known comedian and author from South Africa. So he grew up in a very, very poor family. His mom was South African, black South African. His dad was German, but his dad was not really in the picture. So he grew up and super poor, being super poor. But one thing I remember, like, one time Oprah was interviewing him, and he said, like, but you know what? One thing about being poor is, because there's nothing else. The only thing that's around is other people, and we really make the most of other people. And that really resonated with me, being a Bangladeshi and seeing how people are always together, how people draw energy from each other and give each other energy. But that is something that is lacking more and more in modern life. So number four, the reason for being always tired is not having enough interactions, not being free with people anymore, like thinking that we have to present a front to other people, present, like, our home has to be a certain way, I have to cook a certain way for people to actually come to my home, rather than just people being part of your life as you are now. That thing is missing in modern life, and the more you can bring it back, the more the tiredness will go away. Okay, and then number five, I think people know, is like, we have basically um our our neurotransmitters, our systems are in a mess. What is that? Is like, a lot of us have, like, a lot of a sort of a excess cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone that is secreted when we are stressed. So we sort of stress, sometimes we use it to motivate us to do things, right? And then in the process, a lot of us gets um, get addicted to it, almost like we just cannot, our cortisol levels just never go down, and that is what drives us to feel tired all the time, even if we have less to do, even if we're on a vacation, if we're in a beautiful resort somewhere. You cannot, your body, the cortisol doesn't go down, because you have lived your life where you're like, that's, you're using the stress to motivate yourself, using the, like, I have to finish this project, or finish this paper, or do well in this exam, or do well in that negotiation. So a lot of us have lot of people have cortisol, excess cortisol. And the other neurotransmitter that's often isn't working is that our dopamine system, the thing that rewards us, is not working, mainly because the digital devices are messing our dopamine system up. And I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go deep into it today. But if you are always on social media or playing games, and so on and so forth, it is not, you are experiencing a reality that is not normal for how our body evolved. Our body cannot handle it. The body then, what it tries to do is like it lessens the dopamine secretion, so that in normal circumstances your body cannot doesn't secrete an adequate amount of dopamine. So these things, that's how we're handling stress and how we're sort of becoming a stress addicted society. And also the dopamine imbalance caused by our digital, so being a super digital life, is also something that is causing us be um, to be tired all the time. So these are sort of the things that we don't necessarily think that much when we think of being tired all the time. The more common things, of course, is that you really are trying to do too much, in the sense that you don't have any space in the day to actually process things that are going on. In quantum, we say that your life and your work and you as a person has to advance have to advance together. Okay, so it's like you as a human being and all the things that you're trying to do, your external life, the challenges you are taking up, maybe all the new projects or whatever you're doing, that and who you are, what you're doing on the outside and who you are on the inside, both have to go together. If that doesn't happen, then at some point you crash as a person. You just crash as a person. So you have to, like, you have to plan your days so that you're doing your work, you're taking up more and more challenging work, but that work is related to what you really think is meaningful, what really motivates you. It has to be, but also it's that you are in touch with your inner self enough so that you can feel that work being meaningful. Because if you're not, if your inner self is like lots of unburied emotion, you won't be able to feel the meaningfulness of the even the thing that would otherwise be super meaningful to you. And that is why we meditate so much. That's why we recommend meditating. And oftentimes what happens when people come and take our courses is that they would come, they suddenly, they have like a positive spark, and their lives expand a lot of opportunities come, and they're eager to take up those on those opportunities. But oftentimes the people who don't think, they give up the meditation. In fact, there was one man who went and told my guru that he was so busy now he couldn't meditate, and he asked my guru to meditate on his behalf. That man had a heart attack. Okay, his business was expanding, but then he had a heart attack, and then he realized that other people can't meditate on his behalf. So it is very important to keep on advancing internally and externally. And if you can do those things together, then you wouldn't crash. Otherwise, you will feel tired. You will have a burnout. You will have an explosion. You'll explode. You will have a temper tantrum, a meltdown, and so on and so forth. So always, always, always balance. And all for work, rather than the quantity, think of quality. Think of what is really important, what will really make the difference in your life, which work is the work that will make the difference in your life. And make sure you do that, and make sure you keep space for that, the what we call the moving of the needle, which is the work that will actually move the needle for you. There is no need to just make yourself busy for the sake of feeling like you're busy. Have a full life, but don't have a rushed life, and you will see that you will find. And everybody, if you truly believe that you can, and if you are intentional about it, of course you can create a life like that, where your work is energizing you, is making you happy, and inspired, and full of life, rather than something that is taking things away from you, and making you into this typical example of a tired adult. So I hope that you found a few things that are useful from today's talk. There is no substitute to meditation, but also just taking time to yourself from time to time, and just figure out that what really inspires you, and align your external life with what you want inside. What is meaningful to you, what is valuable to you inside. The more you can align the external life with what's meaningful to you inside, the less things like tiredness will affect your life, and your life will be full of, as I said, joy and inspiration, and energy. So that's our talk for today. And as always, let me start. Give me a few seconds to start the meditation. If there is any problem, just write on the chat. Let's do the Shitila meditation again. Okay, Shitila, I'm saying it in Bangla. That's our easy relaxation meditation. It's a lovely meditation. I just heard yesterday about a girl who had like a really bad childhood, where her mom was abusive, her dad was abusive to her mom, and she had IBS, and she was, like, when the person who told us the story first saw her, she said, like, she just seemed like a skeleton. She just seemed like she was a dead person. She was a person in a dead body. But then she did the course, did relaxation every day for 40 days, twice every day, and then the next time when this person saw her, she says, seems to me, she's like a colorful butterfly, like so much life has come to us. So no matter what your situation, you have the strength. Sometimes you feel like you don't, but you do. Okay, so you may not be able to access it now, but it's there. So please don't give up. Like, life is too precious to give up on anything. Just keep on trying, and it will come. It will come. Okay, the joy, the energy, the success, the health, the abundance, everything that you're looking for will come. Okay, on that note, let me just put the meditation now.